Hello guys, this is Lewis and we're doing Bible study. The question of the day is, where did the demons go? Throughout the Bible, we can see that God, the Lord, He can create light just by saying, words, let there be light. And He can cause blessings and curses. But He also can destroy things. But is the destruction from God, or is it just from things, or is He that holy that anything set apart from Him must be destroyed? Let's dive into Matthew chapter 8 verse 28 through 34. Matthew chapter 8 verse 28. The healing of two demon-possessed men. When he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gadarenes, two demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. "What do you want with us, Son of Man? Son of God?" they shouted. "Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time?" Some distance before them, a large herd of pigs was feeding. The demons begged Jesus, "If you drive us out, send us into the herd of pigs." He said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs. And the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water. Those tending the pigs ran off, went to the town and reported all this, including what had happened to the demon-possessed man. Then the whole town went out to meet Jesus, and they saw him. They pleaded with him to leave the region. So, when the demon-possessed men faced Jesus, they completely went into frozen mode. They said, "Lord, if you are willing, cast us into the pigs. For God does not give us a spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind." And they were cast into the pigs and not into the abyss, where they would get utterly destroyed. So we can see that the Lord destroyed the demons. Just as the pigs were swallowed up by the water, we can see that Korah and his followers were also swallowed up by the earth. It was because Korah disbanded and made a group against Aaron and Moses that he wanted to just not go with the assembly to the promised land that God promised them. And then he got swallowed. The Lord Jesus, he got very angry and said, "I will, he said that, separate yourselves from this assembly so I can put an end to them at once." But Moses cried and said, "Shall the whole assembly be removed because of, the one man?" Or he said, the God of the spirits of men. So it is the spirit of man. It is the spirit that is unholy. Pigs are also an unclean animal. But also the followers of Korah, they got swallowed up because of their jealousy to Moses and Aaron. So their families got swallowed up into the ground, to the earth to the earth where they belonged. And they said, "Do not touch anything that belonged to them, or you will get swallowed up too." So God, he basically destroyed what was unholy. And everything belongs to the Lord. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And even more people grumbled against God. And he sent a plague to the whole assembly. But Aaron was able to stop it. But even then, many were destroyed. Many of them got killed by the plague. But Aaron was able to make atonement for most, and then they weren't destroyed as much as they should have been. But basically, the Lord Jesus Christ is a pure God, and anything that goes against him, it will be completely and utterly delivered for his glory. And yeah, God gives him a lot of chances. So they were able to keep following the Lord's ways and doing what they're meant to do. And then we go back to the demon-possessed men. The demons basically, they went back to the earth. And in the water, where they got engulfed. And that's why it's so great to go back to the Old Testament, because this shows what they actually have to go through. And Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 26 says, "Do not bring a detestable thing into your house, or you, like it, will be set apart for destruction." So as we see from these two passages, from Korah and his followers being swallowed up by the earth, and the assembly of God grumbling and causing a plague, to Matthew, when Jesus met the two demon-possessed men, they had something in common, and it was because the demons are an influence. They influenced the assembly of God to grumble against him, therefore causing God to send a plague amongst them and wiping them out almost entirely. But it was Aaron who lit the censers, and he had, it was like smoke, and that caused that surrounded the assembly and protected them. And Korah's followers, they made a group against Moses, and they basically said that, yeah, you guys are what makes you holier than us, but they were still in the wrong, and they just rebelled. They just wanted to be in the wilderness for who knows what reason, but they didn't they didn't trust they did not trust in the fact that God led them out of Egypt, and it, they didn't want to go with Moses and Aaron into what God had for them even more. So the demons also they stopped other people in that region, and Jesus had to go there and cast them out, cast them into the pigs, cast their jealousy, or cast their wrath into the pigs. And what did the pigs do? They ran into the waters, where they were drowned. Demons are contrary to what God's nature is, and if there's anything that's stopping you right now, it may be a demon. So what you gotta do is you gotta exercise. You gotta start eating healthy, or even starting small, because yeah, just if you fail, get back up, and even though it hurts, keep pushing through, and and you will be you'll have a seat at the victor's table. Once you beat that temptation, whatever. So, yeah, you got this. Go out there.